What's good, my people? Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop Thursday NBA slate, so you know who's with me. J Money is money. We are presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Go download the Action Network app if you haven't already. Go subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page, youtube.com/Action Network. You can see me and J Money, Matt Moore, the rest of the gang live and in color. Man, cast it to the big screen in the living room, sit back, relax, enjoy the pod. That's what we're doing. You know the routine. We give the play, we give the cap, we get you guys out of here. Wednesday, I took a L. J Money's in progress as we record this with the Lakers. I'm going to try to bounce back. J Money is money. Give me your Thursday best bet for the slate.
Yeah, I had a couple of plays. Unfortunately, they already moved have a couple of points. I took the Clippers and I took the Oklahoma City Thunder.
All right, I'm going to go with the Thunder team total. I'm going to go over 122.5. I'm also looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander player points over. I think he has a massive game here. Nothing yet posted, but we'll talk about it more in this episode. All right, J Money is money. We could use this as a learning pod as well. Off the record, J Money said something very smart that a lot of people I think can learn from. He said, "Yeah, I took the Clippers and I took the Thunder earlier, but right now they're starting to push past, if they're not already past, my buy point." Explain that to the people and how you feel about these matchups overall, maybe potentially where you got the numbers at.
Yeah, so I'll start with the Clippers one. Unfortunately, sometimes like you got to get on the early numbers, especially like late in the season when those lines come out the day before. You kind of got to know what spot that you like already, because especially when a team goes into overtime, like the Bulls did as well, or there could be an injury or anything like that. Like lines get to moving fast, man. So I always say have your. Sometimes I mean it's kind of unfair because you have to do the work early. Like you already have to know what spot that you like for the next day. When those lines pump out, like we're to that point in the season where you want to get on them early. And when you get to missing a bucket or 3 points of value, like they could come into play there. And then if you take the late line and then the early one cash, you're going to be pretty pissed off. So it's not that it's unbettable, but it's one of those where you're starting to lose value. I don't use value a ton because I think it's all about like what's going to win. But obviously, when you're getting like literally the ass end of the line, it could really come into play, especially in the NBA with late fouls and things of that nature. So I usually like to have like a cap. Like if I take a spot and it's moved more than 2 points, I'm likely just going to stay off of it. Like that's my message to the people. You don't have to bet every game, and it's okay to lay off some games. If you've missed the best of the number, it's okay to say, hey, it's kind of like the stock market. It's okay to say, all right, I missed that spot, and let's go to the next day or check out a different game. So it's always it's never really good to force a play if it doesn't feel right. I mean, if you still want to take it and you live with the results, that's one thing. But if you feel like you've missed it, it's okay to pass on a game if your buy point is gone.
Give us a little insight on what made you look out in front for the Clippers and the Thunder, and talking about looking ahead of schedule and trying to find spots so you're ready to go and ready to fire before that number either catches steam or moves on you at all. You could be ready to fire. What made you look ahead at the Clippers and then the Thunder?
Yeah, well, I always look ahead to the schedule. I'm already looking towards Friday. Like on Monday, I was looking at Wednesday's game. So I'm a spot better. So I can really look at the spots that I like and want to bet before the lines are even out. And then obviously I'll kind of gauge what the line might be when the lines come out. I know whether I like that line or not. And I know that it might go up as well. So unfortunately, with the Clippers game, that one end up going into overtime. The Bulls went into overtime and they're in a back-to-back third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights, and sixth game at 9 nights. So that was a spot that I was already looking towards. It is a bounce back spot for the Clippers as well. They got a couple of players on the injury report here, but I do think that the Bulls will be running on fumes coming into the fourth quarter of this game. So you do have to look into advance. It's not something that everybody does. A lot of people just kind of look at the games like day by day. They'll wake up, okay, what am I betting today? Well, I'm not built like that. I'm looking ahead. I got to stay ahead of schedule, and that's most of the time why I get the best of the lines.
No question. All right, let's talk about the Thunder and overall. I guess we could bounce off each other here since we're both looking at the game and I'm looking at the team total here. Now, this is going to be third game in was that 4 nights for the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to Oklahoma City, who's coming off a loss. Primetime game on TNT. This is just a spot. They're coming also revenge J spot. They're coming off like a 30-point L last time they played these guys a few weeks back. And this is a spot similar to why I agree with Jay on taking the Lakers. If Oklahoma City wants to try to keep up and keep track with Denver in that number 1 seed, there's very small margin for error going the rest of the way. There's no doubt about that. And if you can't come off a loss, bounce back at home versus the Dallas Mavericks, who since the All-Star break have been one of the worst defensive teams in the league, 29th in defensive rating, 26th on the glass. If you can't go home versus a team that's playing 3 and 4 and on a back-to-back in your building, then you're never going to be able to get a W. So I like the Thunder to get the dub in this spot, and I like them to win big. And I like them to pick up a big number. Now, as I agree with Jay that the number going from 6 to 8 over the last day or so is a bit overinflated. I've even seen some spots on the board where the number's 8.5. I think that's starting to get a little out of reach when we're starting talking about a top 6 team, in my estimation, in the Dallas Mavericks in the West. So I expect this game to be a shootout. The total has bounced around. I saw it as high as 242.5. It is now down to 238.5 as we record this on Wednesday night. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, and I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the boys are going to be the ones pushing the pace and putting points up on the board on the soft Dallas Mavericks defense. Give me the team total, Oklahoma City Thunder over 122.5. And I haven't seen a number for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander yet, but this is a 35-point-plus night for SGA. He scored 25 points in 29 minutes in that last game. He sat because it was a blowout. This is going to be something similar, but it's going to be 36 points in 40 minutes in a game at home for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll take the team total over, and I'll take SGA over. Hopefully I can get 31.5, something like that, 30.5. If I get 30.5, I'm 100% playing a multi-unit spot on SGA. I expect him to have a massive game against the Dallas Mavericks. J Money is money. Let's talk more about the game and that spot that you saw ahead of time. Talk about the potential, I guess, my potential play and how you feel about it.
Yep, another bounce back revenge game J spot. Last time they faced off, they lost 146 to 111. These were things that like you could have already looked at. You see what I'm saying? Even before the line, you could have already known the spot that the Mavs were in. They're coming in off a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights as well. You got the Thunder coming off of a home loss. They obviously have the rest advantage, 4th straight home game as well. It's just one of those spots, and if you're looking at the game and the way you're capping the game, you should already know that this is a Thunder spot. Now, the reason why this line went up is because Luka left the game with left hamstring soreness. That doesn't mean that he's out in this game, but you're obviously going to see. I mean, we're in an injury driven league here, so like the way the market reacts. So the market reacted like literally the line was at -6 like in the 3rd quarter when the Mavs are playing the Warriors. 3rd, 4th quarter, the line is still at -6 over at a few places. You see what I'm saying? So obviously after the game, it started to go up to 7.5, now 8.5. You even see some offshore books at 9.5 here. It's only going to go up unless Luka does end up playing in this one. But it's just one of those things that where if you looked at the situation ahead of time, you already knew. And it's crazy because I actually said this on today's show. I had already knew that this was a major revenge spot for the Thunder. Like on the show, we obviously record this pod the night before, but I do a show every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I told people then if the Mavs beat the Warriors today, we're taking the Thunder tomorrow on the opener. I told them straight up, whatever the opener number is, I'm taking the Thunder. I told everybody that. So it's just one of those things that it just kind of comes to fruition when looking ahead for some of these spots. No matter whether there's an injury or not, I knew that I was going to be on the Thunder in this spot coming off that home loss versus the Pacers. This is a TNT game as well. Major revenge spot versus the Mavs. They've already beat the Mavs earlier in Dallas. I believe they got 2 more matchups as well, both games in OKC. This is where the Thunder play a lot better basketball as well, catching the Mavs in a fatigue spot here. This is a total Thunder spot here, and I like your look on SGA points as well.
Yeah, 5-5 ATS the last 10 for the Thunder. They've been the cover darlings, them and the Orlando Magic and the Pelicans as well over the last couple of seasons. They've quote-unquote, I guess, sputtered a little bit, but I think they're still a really good basketball team when it comes down to the West. Also, another lesson, that is also very important that Jay hit on yesterday, I've hit on in the past, is if you look ahead and find the spot and like the spot and do your research and it matches up and it checks out, fire and live with the results. That's just what it is. It loses, you re-up and find the next spot ahead of time and do the exact same thing. And over time, you will continue to cash tickets and start stacking up weeks, months, and years in the sports betting game. So, yeah, man, I'm done getting cute. I tried to fade Denver and those boys yesterday, or today, I should say, but on yesterday's pod, and those boys are ready for the playoffs, man. They've proven everything they need to themselves, I believe, and everybody in the market. Those men are not playing any games, and Miami offensively seems to continue to struggle to try to find consistent offensive possessions that they can build off, and that's exactly what happened today in the first half and in the full game for the Miami Heat. All right, to recap, J Money is money. Likes the Clippers, got an early number, no official play there, got out in front of the Thunder as well. He's going to back them. I'm going to play the team total on the Oklahoma City Thunder, 122.5. I would still play 123.5. Also, SGA over points. I honestly think he scores 35 plus in this matchup. He scored 25 and 29 minutes. If they hang a number that's 30.5, 31.5, I'm definitely taking the over on SGA points. I think he puts up a big number. Let me ask you this, Jay. If Luka doesn't play, does that change the dynamic on the matchup?
No, I'm on the Thunder here. I mean, like I say, I'm not at this number. It's no official play for me, but I was taking the Thunder regard, even thinking that Luka was going to play in this game. So obviously, if he's out, I think they're going to get smashed even more. I don't think the Thunder are the type of team that they're going to overlook a team with their best player out. This is a TNT game. This is a SGA MVP case building type of game. I think they go balls to the wall and try to smack these guys up here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking you. I agree. The Thunder are the type of team that play down to comp. They're just going to show up and play their game, whoever's out there, Luka or not. And that's who I expect to come out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I expect them to come out in a big way. Big team total number, big SGA number, who's obviously the head of the snake and the trigger man over there. For J Money is Money, I'm your host, Sean Little. Make sure you subscribe to the pod. Tell a homie to tell a friend to subscribe to the pod. Go check out NBA Talk with Jay, 1 p.m. Eastern daily on that YouTube channel. Go subscribe there. Until next time, tomorrow, I'll be back with Matt Moore. Don't forget it. We are presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, and get buckets, baby. We'll see y'all tomorrow.